everybody. Welcome back to Agronomydoc. We actually introduced you to this ultra late planting seeding system trial using some different winter wheat genetics previously. So I was just gonna run through this quickly to update you on what they look like now. My timing's great with that train coming through too. Anyway, we're starting off with probably one of the most soon-to-be popular winter wheat varieties, Cold Front. So that's Canadian Prairie bred by Dr. Rob Graff before he retired. Good winter hardiness, thus the Cold Front name. But in this one, again, we're trying to plant and compare, you know, what's the implication of you as a farmer if it's too dry, the ground is like a sidewalk, and you want to wait until the rains come, basically. So that's kind of what it was here and in a lot of places on the prairies. Here's Cold Front planted at the optimal time, which is around September 7th if it was modeled for us. Something like that. So September 7th, let's say, and then we wait for the soils to cool down. Sort of the opposite of what we've been doing with ultra early seeding. So again, we waited until they cooled to 4, to 2, and then to 0. And because we had a crazy winter storm coming, and because it took forever for those soils to cool down, most of these, well, I know 2 and 0 were planted pretty much on the same day, and this may have been just ahead of it. But again, really defying what we're supposed to be recommending in terms of deviating out, you know, outside of our crop insurance deadlines, for example, and planting into mid to late November, and on dryland. But you know, honestly, it's a good example of some years, particularly here, where it makes a little more sense to wait out the rains to a degree. You can tell, I mean, it could be just because of that plot. That's why we replicate too, so that we get a good average of what that treatment's doing across 4 observations. But again, these look pretty good, planted, you know, mid to late November, basically. Nice stands, it looks like. Yeah, so that's Cold Front. That's sort of the benchmark check of this trial. And then we're looking at some different genetics. So this is a soft white winter from Ontario. It really shouldn't be doing great out here because they typically just don't have that winter hardiness that we need for the prairie conditions that we experience almost year in, year out. But again, it's doing not bad. This is, I believe it's Mountain View. And again, planted at sort of when we want to plant out here in, like, you know, your first week of September, second week of September, and then waited till the soils cooled down to 4. And then big storm coming on the 20th or 24th, I forget what that was. So the guys knocked in 2 and 0 on the same day. But again, you know, we've got some variation, as you can see in the plots, in terms of maturity, which is likely an artifact of 2 things, maybe seed to soil contact, but also we didn't get those early rains. And that's the one thing that can kill you with winter wheat. Is typically on the prairies we get early season moisture, and then one of the benefits is that a more mature plant can take advantage of that. But if we don't get that moisture, if it comes too late, and these plants have already entered into that critical growth period, which is starting at stem elongation, they might suffer a yield penalty, and so we'll see what happens. It wasn't ideal for winter wheat with how late the rains came, but you know, we got a lot of rain, so we'll see. It'll be interesting to compare these results. Now this is actually a winter durum, I believe, originally from Germany, and I forget the name of it. I think it's like, you can correct it in the thing, but it's something like winter gold or something, right? But anyway, real nice variety that they like out there. My seed source, as you can see, wasn't great. There's like triticale in there and a few other off types, but generally speaking, again, something that really shouldn't work well at all isn't doing too bad. And we wouldn't know when it would be ideal to plant this thing. So again, we're at in the fall, ideal. Wait for the soils to cool down to 4, then 2, then 0. And yeah, it just depends. I mean, I wouldn't, you know, walking these, think that going late and going dormant at 0 and 2 just before that snowstorm came was a risky venture this particular yield. So we'll compare the yield results and update you soon. Thanks.